morning of my third day here in Death Valley. It's about an hour after sunrise, and this morning finds me in a totally different location. Just a little after sundown last night, I went ahead and made the decision to leave the dunes that I was staying at. I actually decided to head into town and get some gas, get some batteries for my headlamp, a couple other things, and some food that isn't camp food, so that was kind of nice. This morning I am hanging out at the Ashford Mill ruins because they have a bathroom. It was nice to get cleaned up and use the facilities. I just stayed in my back of my truck last night. That's fine. The only thing with that is it doesn't allow you to stretch your legs out, so you just toss and turn all night. But especially in a day use area where there's no camping allowed, it was better than getting chased out of here because I had a baby set up. The decision to leave the dunes yesterday, I was kind of conflicted with. As badly as I'd like to get a shot out of there, I don't know. I just looked at the forecast and it said it was going to be cloudy all this morning, which was kind of a bullet in that for me, because it's one thing if just sleep there and wake up, but if I wake up and it's full clouds and there's no sunrise to shoot and I'm waiting around all day for the clouds to go away, that just didn't sound productive. So. And it's forecasted to be partly cloudy today too, so there's no guarantee I'd get any better conditions than what I got yesterday. And sitting there all day, just for the last second to walk up to my composition and get snuffed out was defeating. I'll be real honest. Death Valley has been difficult for me. My first trip here in April, those of you who've seen the videos are familiar that I spent the entirety of that trip for those 3-4 days that I was here trying to get out of Death Valley. That was a very, very terrible experience, and it's actually one of the main things that led to me buying my truck. So it became very clear to me during that trip that the vehicle I had was not appropriate for the types of trips and things that I wanted to be doing. So stoked for that and glad to have it. But this trip is kind of about trying to come back and do the exploring I didn't get to do. I even padded it with extra time to give me a little bit of flexibility to kind of judge what I want to do on any given day, or extend the trip or shorten the trip depending on how things are going. I think I'm gonna hang out, eat some breakfast, drink my coffee, and then I'm poised and gassed up and near the entrance to the west side road, I believe it is, dirt road that goes up on the other side of the basin and kind of leads up to some abandoned borax mines and a few other things. And then there's a few scenic drives, the artist loop and stuff that everybody kind of does that I never got a chance to do because I blew up last time I was here. So I'm going to do those and just kind of do the sightseeing, touristy, exploring thing this morning and try to get inspired and amped up. So then maybe I had a tentative plan tonight to maybe head up to Dante's View and see what the sunset looks like. Maybe I'll camp out up there too, or somewhere near. I'm kind of being a nomad right now and just rolling a bivy sack out wherever I am. And that's fine, but it gets a little tiring too, being wrapped up in that, basically a condensation sack. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and load the truck up and get going. Well, despite this being a borax refinery site and smelling like chemical everywhere, it smells like old cleaner. Go figure. Quite surprised to see some green grasses down here though, right in the middle of the desert. It's kind of cool. very cool. Well, the artist palette was certainly cool. It's worth the drive. It was a little touristy, but you should check it out because if you're up here, it's well worth the drive. That last sequence is actually kind of a challenge to film. It's a one-way road to get up to the artist palette, so it's a couple miles out and around. So I'd have to either do several passes or use multiple camera angles. And then I needed a driver too, so meet the camera crew. You have the dash cam, the window cam, and the mud flap cam. So last minute I decided to drive up to Dante's View just before sunset, and so far I'm kind of glad I did, although I'm not sure what I'm going to get. So I framed the composition. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I'm going to stick with it because I don't really have a lot of time to continue moving my tripod around. So I'm just going to hang on to this composition and hope that the light works. Basically just framed the bad water basin, all the salt flats up in the shot, with the mountain ridge in the back, and I'm really hoping that as the sun sets I'll get some nice orange sunset colors. It's just enough of a break in the clouds that I might get like a minute or two of light if I'm lucky. So I am framed and ready to go, and I am watching the light very closely. It looks like I'm starting to get just a little bit, but nothing on my composition yet. I was driving around down there in the valley, and I actually headed towards a Devil's Golf course. I thought about framing up something there, but then all these clouds rolled in, and it didn't look like I was going to get anything. It looked like I was going to get completely shut out again like I did last night. So I figured I'd just use the time to go explore some more. So I drove up here, and when I got to the top of the mountain, I actually got some breaks in the clouds. So maybe I'll get lucky. Hope so. I'd like to shoot today. It's the first time I'm taking my camera out of the bag today, so for better or worse, at least things are looking up. But it looks like I'm starting to get a little light here, so I'm gonna pay attention and see if I can get this shot. So it's nothing too special. I'm just framed up on the salt flats out there, shooting at f/18, eighth of a second, 1/8, excuse me. And then ISO 100 as usual, focus to infinity. Let's see, and I am at about 40 mil. I'm kind of restricted with a little bit of this foreground here that I don't really want to include, just because it's going to be out of focus anyway and distract from the composition. But that's it for light in the valley anyway. The sun's below the peak now, so I'm just going to hang out. I'm starting to get some color in the sky behind me there. I'm going to hang out and see what the sky does, because there is some really pretty colors going on. Well, like I say, regardless of how this turns out, this was an absolute treat. So I wasn't expecting this at all, and this is just an absolutely gorgeous view. I can see why it's such a popular spot, but even just the sky and the conditions I had just this ghastly sky all afternoon, and I was just sure that nothing was going to come of it. And even if the photo doesn't turn out, I mean, I'm not real confident in my composition anyway, but whether it turns out or not doesn't matter, because this is fantastic. It's just absolutely beautiful, beautiful sunset. So yay for that. That has got to be the most unreal red I've ever seen in the sky. It blows my mind. It like startled me. I looked over and it just lit up, like it just boom, exploded into just this deep, deep, deep red. It's absolutely fantastic.